You're watching The Truth is Viral, the only news program on the internet trusted to deliver the truth since 2008. And now, here's your host, Mr. Bobby Powell.
Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell. It's Wednesday night, August 29th, and you're watching us exclusively here on the Liberty One Network, where all the fun kids come out to play. And we've got two big stories for you tonight, folks, and you know me, I don't like to waste a whole lot of time jaw-jacking. I'm just going to bring you the news that you might have missed or that the mainstream media ignores, spins, or just plain lies about. So let's get to our two big stories tonight. The first one is Donald Trump slamming Google and Facebook and Twitter for suppressing conservative content. And not only are they suppressing conservative news and conservative publishers, they're also, like, for instance, Twitter is shadow banning prominent conservative Republicans. And there's a guy in Michigan that I'm supporting for Senate who's running against Debbie Stabenow, who's been in Congress forever. His name's John James. He's an African-American combat hero from Iraq, and he's a pilot, helicopter pilot, and he's a really good guy. But he's shadow banned on Twitter, as are many other Republican candidates for office around the country in advance of the midterms. And folks, this is nothing short of election interference. And Donald Trump has something to say about that, and we'll get to it in just a second. Now, we're also going to talk about Hillary Clinton. Came out today that China hacked her emails. They got a copy of every single one of her emails, all but 4. And my friends, that just cannot be allowed to go unanswered, because those emails, the emails that China took possession of, resulted in the deaths of U.S. spies in China. This woman's got a trail of bodies 10 miles long behind her, and we can't allow it to happen. But first, let's go to the news of Donald Trump slamming Twitter and Google and Facebook on Twitter. Check out these first couple of tweets. Google search results for Trump news show only the viewing reporting of fake news media. In other words, they have it all rigged for me and others so that almost all stories and news is bad. Fake CNN is prominent. Republican/conservative and fair media is shut out. Illegal? 96% of results on Trump news are from national left-wing media. Very dangerous. Google and others are suppressing voices of conservatives and hiding information and news that is good. They are controlling what we can and cannot see. This is a very serious situation. Will be addressed. I really hope that the president does something soon, because we're in trouble. You know, information is power, and those that control the information have the power, my friends. And I think he was referring to this PJ Media article right here. It says 96% of Google searches for Trump news are from liberal media outlets. This was written by Paula Boillard. It says, is Google manipulating its algorithm to prioritize left-leaning news outlets in their coverage of President Trump? It sure looks that way based on recent search results for news on the president. Conservatives and Trump supporters have for the last several years questioned whether Google was deprioritizing conservative news sites, hiding them from users who utilize their search engine. Google has maintained that all outlets are treated fairly, but nevertheless, conservative sites have reported reduced search traffic, and in the case of Google-owned YouTube, content creators, like me, have been banned and demonetized. Google's high-profile firing of conservative James Damore, purportedly over his conservative political views, only reinforces the idea that Google is picking winners and losers. Now, they tested this by performing a Google search for Trump using the search engine's news tab and analyzing the results using Cheryl Atkinson's media bias chart. That's a heck of a chart, folks. She writes that she was expected to see some skewing of the results based on my extensive experience with Google, but I was not prepared for the blatant prioritization of left-leaning and anti-Trump media outlets. Looking at the first 2 pages of results, I discovered that CNN was the big winner, scoring 2 of the first 10 results. Another left-leaning sites that appeared on the first page were CBS, The Atlantic, CNBC, The New Yorker, Politico, Reuters, and USA Today. The last two outlets on this list, she notes, could arguably be considered more centrist than others. However, not a single right-leaning site appeared on the first page of results. But it got much worse, she adds, when she analyzed the first 100 items that Google returned in a search for news on Trump. CNN by a wide margin appeared most frequently, with nearly twice as many results returned as the second-place finisher, the CIA-financed Washington Post. I added the CIA finance part. We all know Jeff Bezos got $60 million to spread propaganda from the CIA, but we won't talk about that right now. Other left-leaning outlets also fared well, including NBC, CNBC, The Atlantic, and Politico. The only right-leaning sites to appear in the top 100 were the Wall Street Journal and Fox News, with 3 and 2 results, respectively. PJ Media did not appear in the first 100 results, nor did the National Review, the Weekly Standard, Breitbart, The Blaze, The Daily Wire, Hot Air, Town Hall, Red State, or any other conservative-leaning sites except the 2 listed above. And here are the sites that appeared most frequently in the top 100 results. Now, folks, the reason that they're so desperate to hide the real news is not only to influence the midterm elections so that they can get a Democratic majority in the House of Representatives and finally initiate impeachment proceedings against Donald Trump, which, despite their denials, is exactly what they want to do. They're liars. They're hypocrites. Don't believe a word that a Democrat says. If they say that the sky is blue, find some reason to question their logic. They also want to keep Hillary Clinton out of prison. She violated the Espionage Act, which doesn't require intent. Okay? And that's just one charge of who knows how many. This woman could be sent to prison for the rest of her natural life. Personally, I don't think she'll ever see the inside of a prison, because if she's ever actually charged, she's going to have a conveniently timed stroke, and she'll just disappear from public life and be remembered as some kind of a hero like John McCain has been. Oh my gosh, the coverage is nonstop. That filthy traitor is being lauded as a hero when he's anything but. And they want to do the same thing for Hillary Clinton. They want to protect her. They want to protect their deep state operations that have been pushing this phony Russia-Trump narrative for the last year and a half, along with Peter Strzok, who lied to Congress, and between him and his lover, Lisa Page, and 25 other members of the Department of Justice and the FBI that have been recently fired, demoted, or have fled the ship like a bunch of rats. They're all complicit, and they want to hide this. The deep state wants to hide this, and they're using the news media to do it. So that's why you need to watch shows like The Truth is Viral and the Pete Santilli Show on every morning from 9 till 1 o'clock. Because, folks, you're not getting the real news off the TV. You can't get it anywhere but independent media. That's why they killed Alex Jones. Well, not literally, but they killed his reach. You know, like him or not, and personally I don't, but like him or not, he was getting a lot of truth out there, and they just couldn't have that. So that's why Alex Jones was deplatformed. They don't want other embarrassing people like John James or Milo being out there to spread truth. Because especially with this walkaway movement that's blowing up, people that don't fit the accepted conservative model, like Milo Yiannopoulos, a gay man that's married to a Jew. I mean, he's a gay Jew, then he's married to a black man. You'd think that he would be leader of the resistance, but he's not. He brings common sense arguments forward, and they can't compete with that. They can't compete with Ben Shapiro. Call him a white supremacist and a Nazi. Well, he's a Jew. I mean, give me a break. He's the furthest thing from a Nazi that there could possibly ever be. But they're deplatforming folks. They're limiting their reach. They're demonetizing them. All in an effort to keep Hillary Clinton out of prison and to influence the midterm elections so that they can finally impeach Donald Trump. So Let's turn to Hillary Clinton and these Chinese spies and her emails. The Daily Caller reports that a Chinese-owned company penetrated former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's private server, according to sources briefed on the matter. The company inserted code that forwarded copies of Clinton's emails to the Chinese company in real time. The Intelligence Community Inspector General warned of the problem, but the FBI subsequently failed to act, Republican Representative Louis Gohmert said during a July hearing. Now, folks, I am here to tell you, this exchange between Louis Gohmert and disgraced FBI agent Peter Strzok is epic. It is one of the greatest smackdowns of all time. You're going to enjoy this.
You said earlier in this hearing you were concerned about a hostile foreign power affecting our election. Do you recall the Intelligence Community Inspector General Chuck McCulloch having an investigation into an anomaly found on Hillary Clinton's emails?
I do not.
Well, let me refresh your recollection. The Intelligence Community Inspector General Chuck McCulloch sent his investigator, Frank Rucker, along with an ICIG attorney, Jeanette McMillan, to brief you and Dean Chappelle and two other FBI personnel that I won't name at this time about an anomaly they had found on Hillary Clinton's emails that were going to and from the private unauthorized server that you were supposed to be investigating. Now, do you remember it?
I remember meeting Mr. Rucker on either one or two occasions. I do not remember the specific content or discussions.
Well, I'll help you with that too then. Mr. Rucker reported to those of you, the four of you there, in the presence of the ICIG attorney, that they had found this anomaly on Hillary Clinton's emails going through her private server. And when they had done the forensic analysis, they found that her emails, every single one except for four, over 30,000 of them, were going to an address that was not on the distribution list. It was a compartmentalized bit of information that was sending it to an unauthorized source. Do you recall that?
Sir, I don't.
Well, he went on to explain it, and you didn't say anything.
No.
You thanked him, you shook his hand, but the problem was that it was going to an unauthorized source that was a foreign entity unrelated to Russia, and from what you've said here, you did nothing more than nod and shake the man's hand when you didn't seem to be all that concerned about our national integrity of our election when it was involving Hillary Clinton. So the forensic examination was done by the ICIG, and they can document that. But you were given that information and you did nothing with it. And one of the things I found most egregious with Mr. Horowitz's testimony, and by the way, Horowitz got a call 4 times by someone wanting to brief him, leaving messages telling him about this, and he never returned the call. He had 500 pages of bias that he gave us. And then he threw a bone to the Democrats and said, but we can't find bias. And let me tell you, when you have text messages, Mr. Strzok, the way you do, saying the things you did, you'd been better off coming in here and say, look, that was my bias. And you kind of get around to that a little bit when you say, hey, everybody's got political views. Those are called biases, and we all have them. And you have come in here and said, I had no bias. And you do it with a straight face. And I watched you in the private testimony you gave. And I told some of the other guys, he is really good. He's lying. He knows, we know he's lying. and he could probably pass the polygraph. It's amazing.
Mr. Chairman.
No, this is my
Mr.
time,
Chairman, I'm sorry.
and it needs to
Point
be
of order.
paused.
This point of order.
No,
The gentleman will state his point of order.
A member of this committee just asserted that this witness, who is under oath and a former agent of the FBI, lied. There is no evidence that. I ask him to withdraw it.
I do not withdraw it. He is not a member of Congress. It's not a violation of the rule. And just as you have been expressing bias through your members about what a hero
There is not a
gentleman
single
coming
person
here
on this
and
committee
lying.
who has ever characterized a witness
Gentleman
as
from
lying.
Rhode Island,
Sitting here,
gentleman-
appearing
It's
before
my
this committee.
time.
That's a disgrace.
Gentleman from Rhode Island will
Praise
suspend.
him. No, the disgrace
Mr.
is what this man has done.
The
to
gentleman
our
from
justice
Texas will
system.
suspend for a moment.
There is the disgrace. And it won't be recaptured anytime soon because of the damage you've done to the justice system. And I've talked to FBI agents around the country. You've embarrassed them. You've embarrassed yourself. And I can't help but wonder when I see you looking there with a little smirk, how many times did you look so innocent into your wife's eye and lie to her about Lisa?
Mr. Chairman, this is outrageous.
The credibility of a witness
Shame
is
on you,
always
Mr.
an
Chairman.
issue.
Mr.
you
Chairman, please, there's
have
You,
no-
Mr. Chairman, this is intolerable harassment of the
What is
witness.
wrong with that? You need your medication.
Sir, first, I assure
No
you,
question.
under oath, as I spoke also during my interview a week or two ago, I have always told the truth. The fact that you would accuse me otherwise, the fact that you would question whether or not that was the sort of look I would engage with in a family member who I have acknowledged hurting, goes more to a discussion about your character and what you stand for and what is going inside you.
It's
and the
to
integrity
your
of man.
credibility,
And
and
while-
you lost your credibility.
Both
And
individuals.
while I doubt
You've
it-
lost your credibility.
While
That's
I doubt
the
it
problem.
plays well
Gentleman
to
from
America,
Texas will,
I'm not sure
will
it plays
the
well.
gentleman from Texas will suspend. The witness has had ample opportunity to express his feelings about that, and now the chair recognizes the
Mr.
gentleman's
Chairman,
support
there
of
is
Mr.
a
Deutsch.
discussion about the representative's first assertion about what the ICIG said that I would like to respond to.
Very briefly.
Very briefly, I have no recollection of that conversation. I can tell you I am not a computer forensic expert. I can tell you that every allegation that we had, and ICIG was a great and close partner, every allegation that we had, whether from them or anybody else, was forwarded to experts.
Who? Top men.
Scores and scores of servers and BlackBerries and emails and everything we got were combed over carefully by the FBI's experts to see if there's any indicia of intrusion.
But you don't recall
The things
going
you're saying,
over
sir,
those emails,
a lot-
correct?
much of what
Gentlemen
you're
will
saying, I
suspend.
have no idea what you're talking about, and frankly,
And the-
just
and the
strikes me
witness
as
will
wrong.
suspend as
I
well.
do not know what you're talking about.
That
you
is
just
enough.
can't let a witness
The-
go on forever.
the-
when the fact is, you never did anything
Chairman,
about those.
order.
Correct?
Regular order.
You didn't do anything about it.
Sir, if there was a lead, give it to the team unequivocally.
The gentleman-
there was nothing along
Mr.
the lines
Struck,
that
you
was
will
not addressed.
suspend.
Well, that'll come out.
Mr. Gomer,
enough.
you will suspend.
President Trump tweeted Daily Caller's report saying that Hillary Clinton's emails, many of which are classified information, got hacked by China. Next move better be by the DOJ and FBI, or after all of their missteps, Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Page, or FISA, Dirty Dossier, etc., their credibility will be gone forever. And it was just shortly thereafter that the fake news media went after President Trump with assistance from the FBI. In this story from NBC News, it says that 16 hours after President Trump tweeted about a right-wing media story alleging that China hacked Hillary Clinton's private email server, an FBI official is refuting the report in a comment to NBC News. The FBI has not found any evidence that the Clinton servers were compromised, the official said. It's the latest example of a widening breach between a president who traffics in unverified news accounts and the law enforcement agencies he frequently maligns. The FBI official, speaking for the Bureau anonymously, also pointed to a report issued in June by the Justice Department Inspector General that examined the FBI's investigation of Clinton's use of a private email server. In the report, the IG noted that while the FBI assessed that it was possible that hostile actors gained access to Clinton's private email server, the Bureau acknowledged that the FBI investigation and its forensic analysis did not find any evidence that Clinton's email server systems were compromised. Well, that's not exactly what the Intelligence Community Inspector General found, now is it? After all that we've seen over the past year and a half, does anybody really believe the top echelons of the FBI anymore? I don't. Their credibility has been completely destroyed. And it's time to clean house. Of course, we'd know absolutely none of this if it weren't for a brave FBI agent. And yes, I believe that there are many of them out there, probably a majority of the FBI agents serving, who, as Representative Gomert observed, are disgusted at the actions of the Bureau here of late. But this man, he's a hero. His name is John Robertson. Discovered the Hillary Clinton emails on Anthony Weiner's computer during a child sex investigation. And investigative journalist Paul Sperry of Real Clear Politics, writing for Real Clear Investigations, is the man who named FBI John Robertson, the man who changed the course of history. Working on a Weiner sex crime case, this unsung and before now unidentified hero, Sperry writes, discovered the trove of Clinton emails and blew the whistle on the Comey-McCabe-Strzok cover-up of the evidence. I'd like you to meet this man right now. This is John Robertson.
My undergraduate degree was in religion. I was actually studying to either be a college professor or maybe even a minister. And then 9/11 happened. And immediately I realized that my future wasn't in the classroom. I'm not big into suits. When I worked white collar, sure, I was in a suit all the time. But now I'm working crimes against children. So if I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna talk to a 13-year-old victim, do I wanna be in a suit with a high and tight haircut, looking like an FBI agent or a cop? In my experience, no. When you grab one of these guys and he has been raping children and videotaping and distributing it, monsters like that, there's a sense of satisfaction that I have not had anywhere else. And I've worked homicides and assaults and murders and the mob and then in white collar. But there's something unique to this because when you do right by those kids, I mean, you can't beat that feeling.
When we return on The Truth is Viral, we're going to look into John Robertson, see some of the work that he did and some of the investigation done by Paul Sperry and Real Clear Investigations. Find out how the Chinese got a hold of these emails and what happened to the U.S. spies in China that were executed because of them. You do not want to miss the next segment. I'll be right back. 60 seconds.
I'm Pete Santilli, and you're watching The Truth is Viral.
Do not click away. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Yeah, folks, I surely would appreciate it if you would help support my mission of saving lives and winning souls for Jesus Christ in these very last days. I realize I'm a rough, gruff old bastard, but I love the Lord more than anything. And he is the truth. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And the closer I can bring people to the truth, the closer I can bring them to the realization that Jesus Christ is the Son of the living God, and he offers salvation freely to anybody that will ask for it. Why this is such an offensive message to Facebook, Twitter, and Google, I don't know, other than to observe that the Bible says that in the end times, what's called good will be evil, and evil good, and they're just really in their father's pocket. Their father is the devil. He's the father of lies. You won't find any of the lies here on The Truth is Viral and Liberty One. The cast of characters that we've got bringing you the news and conservative opinion Monday through Friday is stellar. And I could not be more grateful to work with such a wonderful group of men and women. If you guys haven't checked out Lucretia on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you need to. That woman is a trip. So let's go delving into this investigation by Paul Sperry that was basically started by FBI agent John Robertson when he found Weiner's laptop after he'd been sending his penis pictures to a 15-year-old girl. Disgusting. So let's see what this is. I'm just going to give you the highlights. This is a very long article. I would suggest that you go find it yourself and check it out because it's really, really informative. But I'm just going to give you the highlights. It says, when then FBI Director James Comey announced that he was closing the Hillary Clinton email investigation for a second time just days before the 2016 election, he certified to Congress that his agency had reviewed all of the communications discovered on a personal laptop by Clinton's closest aide, Huma Abedin, and her husband, Anthony Weiner. At the time, many wondered how investigators managed over the course of 1 week to read the hundreds of thousands of emails residing on the machine, which had been a focus of a sex crimes investigation of Weiner, a former congressman. Comey later told Congress that thanks to the wizardry of our technology, the FBI was able to eliminate the vast majority of messages as duplicates of emails they had previously seen. Tireless agents, he claimed, then worked night after night after night to scrutinize the remaining material. But virtually none of this was true. In fact, a technical glitch prevented FBI technicians from accurately comparing the new emails with the old emails. Only 3,077 of the 694,000 emails were directly reviewed for classified or incriminating information. 3 FBI officials completed that work in a single 12-hour spurt the day before Comey again cleared Clinton of criminal charges. Comey said most of the emails are... Okay, I'm sorry, I screwed that up. Most of the emails were never examined, even though they made up potentially 10 times the evidence of what was reviewed in the original year-long case that Comey closed in 2016, said a law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation. Even though the unique classified material was improperly stored and transmitted on an unsecured device, a violation of the Espionage Act, which does not require intent, the FBI did not refer the matter to U.S. intelligence agencies to determine if national security had been compromised, as required under a federally mandated damage assessment directive. One career FBI agent involved in the case complained to New York colleagues that officials in Washington tried to bury the new trove of evidence, which he believed contained the full archive of Clinton's emails, including long-sought missing messages from her first months at the State Department. Although the FBI's New York office first pointed headquarters to the large new volume of evidence on September 28, 2016, Supervising Agent Peter Strzok, who was fired on August 10th for sending anti-Trump texts and other misconduct, did not try to obtain a warrant to search the huge cache of emails until October 30th, 2016. Violating department policy, he edited the warrant affidavit on his home email account, bypassing the FBI system for recording such government business. He also began drafting a second exoneration statement before conducting the search. The search warrant was so limited in scope that it excluded more than half the emails New York agents considered relevant to the case. The cache of Clinton-Abbott communications dated back to 2007, but the warrant to search the laptop excluded any messages exchanged before or after Clinton's 2009 to 2013 tenure as Secretary of State. Those were key early periods when Clinton initially set up her unauthorized private server, and later periods when she deleted thousands of emails sought by investigators. In March 2015, it was revealed that Hillary Clinton had used a private email server located in the basement of her Chappaqua, New York home to conduct State Department business during her tenure as the nation's top diplomat. The emails on the unsecured server included thousands of classified messages, including top-secret information. Federal law makes it a felony for government employees to possess or handle classified material in an unprotected manner. By July, intelligence community authorities had referred the matter to the FBI. That investigation centered on the 30,490 emails that Clinton handed over after deeming them work-related. She said that she had deleted another 33,000 because she decided that they were personal. How about that? She decided that they were personal. Also missing were emails from the first 2 months of her tenure at State, from January 1st or 21st, 2009 through March 18th, 2009, because investigators were unable to locate the BlackBerry device she used during that period when she set up and began using the basement server, bypassing the government system of archiving such public records as required by federal statute. They couldn't find it because she had beaten them up with a hammer. She destroyed them with a hammer. One year later, in a dramatic 2016 press conference, July 2016 press conference, less than 3 weeks before Clinton would accept her party's nomination for president, Comey unilaterally declared Clinton of criminal wrongdoing. While Clinton and her aides were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information, no charges are appropriate in this case. Remember, it was Peter Strzok that changed the language from grossly negligent to extremely careless. And grossly negligent are the words used in the Espionage Act to warrant criminal charges. So basically, they're just shining you on, changing words. It's just ridiculous. It's a distinction without a difference. Comey would later say that he broke with normal procedures whereby the FBI collects evidence and the Department of Justice decides whether to bring charges because he believed that Attorney General Loretta Lynch had engaged in actions that raised doubts about her credibility, including secretly meeting with Clinton's husband, the former president, just days before the FBI interviewed her. Then fast forward to September 2016. FBI investigators in New York, headed by hero FBI agent John Robertson, who specialized in crimes against children, were analyzing a Dell laptop shared by Abbott and Weiner as part of a separate sex crimes investigation involving Weiner's contact with an underage girl. On September 26, 2016, Robertson found a large volume of emails, over 300,000, on the laptop related to Abbott and Clinton, including a large volume of messages from Clinton's old BlackBerry account. Uh-oh. The headers indicated that the emails on the laptop included ones sent and or received by Abbott at her Clinton One email account, her personal Yahoo email account, as well as a host of Clinton-associated domains including state.gov, clintonfoundation.org, presidentclinton.com, and hillaryclinton.com. The agents had reason to believe that classified information resided on the laptop since investigators had already established that emails containing classified information were transmitted through multiple email accounts used by Abbott, including those Clinton email accounts and Yahoo accounts. Moreover, the preliminary count of Clinton-related emails found on the laptop in late September 2016, 3 months after Comey closed his case dwarfed the total of some 60,000 originally reported by Hillary Clinton. And the agent, John Robertson, described the discovery as an oh shit moment. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? He asked another case agent. They agreed to send that information directly up the chain of command. The next day, September 27th, the official in charge of the FBI's New York office, Bill Sweeney, was alerted to the trove and confirmed that it was clearly her stuff. Sweeney reported the find to Comey Deputy Andrew McCabe and other headquarters officials on September 28th and told Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz that everybody realized the significance of this. FBI officials in New York assumed that the Bureau's brass would jump on the discovery, particularly since it included the missing emails from the start of Clinton's time at State. In fact, the emails dated from the beginning of 2007 and covered the entire period of Clinton's tenure as secretary and thereafter. The team leading the Clinton investigation, codenamed Mid-Year Exam, had never been able to find Clinton's emails from her first 2 months as secretary. By October 4th, the Wiener case agent, Robertson, had finished processing the laptop and reported that he had found at least 675,000 emails potentially relevant to the mid-year investigation. In fact, the final count was 694,000. Based on the number of emails, we could have every email that Huma and Hillary ever sent to each other, the agent remarked to colleagues. It appeared that this was the motherlode of missing Clinton emails. But Strzok remained uninterested. This isn't a ticking time bomb, he was quoted as saying in the recently issued Inspector General's report. Besides, he had bigger concerns. You know, is the government of Russia trying to get someone elected here in the United States? Strzok at headquarters sat on the mountain of evidence for another 26 days. The career New York agent Robertson said that all he was hearing from Washington was crickets, so he pushed the issue to his immediate superiors, fearing he would be scapegoated for failing to search the pile of digital evidence. They, in turn, went over Strzok's head, passing their concerns on to career officials at the National Security Division of the Justice Department, who in turn set off alarm bells at the 7th floor executive suites of the J. Edgar Hoover building. Okay, I'm looking at the comments here, folks, and it's telling me that the stream is frozen. Looking at the stream on my receiving computer where I look at your comments, it sure is. So you're probably not even hearing this right now. I don't know. I'm looking at the chat rooms. People are saying that all of the streams and all of the groups that it's appearing in is down. It's frozen. They're not getting any audio or video. So I'm restarting the stream. What? No, I just want to let you know I'm restarting it. Okay, you got it right now. Okay, folks, stand by. Obviously, Facebook is having a brain fart, or they just don't want us to continue this live stream, because this information is truly damaging to Hillary Clinton. If there's any justice in the world at all, it's going to put her in prison. But like I said, she'll probably claim that she's had a stroke or something like that, and she will try to avoid responsibility for her crimes. So, I don't know if we want to allow her to do that. Nope, we don't. But I do want you, as long as we're getting things up and running, is to check out my kitty cam. That's my little buddy Orion, my co-host. He likes to sit up here with me and keep me company while I work all day boiling. Okay, now I'm looking at the comments in the Liberty One chat room. I don't know if you're still getting this stream or not. You got to tell me. And this is why we need your help so much. Literally. Because they're trying to shut down the truth at in every way that they can. And we can't allow them to happen. And we've got a few tricks up our sleeves where we can get around this mess sometimes. But apparently it's not working all the time. They found us probably by voice recognition. You know, they've got this technology where they can transcribe and put up closed captions on the fly. So they know what I'm talking about, and they do not want this information out there. Because it's very damaging. But I need, you're getting it, Jim? Okay, good deal. Okay, well, in just the last few minutes that I've got here, why don't we go ahead and look at some more stuff. As I said, I want you to go to Real Clear Investigations and check out this article. It will tell you everything that you need to know about how these emails were discovered by our hero FBI agent, John Robertson. And now I'm going to show you the results of those emails being kept on an unsecured laptop. This from the New York Times. Killing CIA informants. China crippled the U.S. spying operations. The Chinese government systematically dismantled CIA spying operations in the country starting in 2010, shortly after Hillary Clinton started her bathtub server. They killed or imprisoned more than a dozen sources over 2 years and crippled intelligence gathering there for years after. Current and former American officials described the intelligence breach as one of the worst in decades. It set off a scramble in Washington's intelligence and law enforcement agencies to contain the fallout, but investigators were bitterly divided over the cause. Some were convinced that a mole within the CIA had betrayed the United States. Others believed that the Chinese had hacked the covert system the CIA used to communicate with its foreign sources. The New York Times says years later, that debate remains unsolved. Except that it's not unsolved, because now we know, after President Trump tweeted out that Daily Caller article, that Hillary Clinton, because she was using the unsecured server, basically gave the Chinese every email that she ever sent. She is absolutely responsible for the deaths of those 20 men. Let's go check out another article. This one from Business Insider. It says Chinese authorities rounded up the suspects and executed or imprisoned them before their handlers were able to determine what was going on. You could tell the Chinese weren't guessing, one of the U.S. officials said in the report. The Ministry of State Security was always pulling in the right people. When things started to go bad, they went bad fast. U.S. intelligence officials cited in the report are now placing the lion's share of the blame on what one official called a F-up, communication system used between spies and their handlers. Well, we know that that's not right. Even the Voice of America reported that China killed these CIA sources, hobbling the U.S. spying program. Says China killed or imprisoned 18 to 20 CIA sources from 2010 to 2012. Investigators remain divided over whether there was a spy within the Central Intelligence Agency who betrayed their sources, or whether the Chinese hacked the CIA's covert communication system, citing current and former U.S. officials. Again, now that Daily Caller has exposed it, now that the hero FBI agent John Robertson has been identified, now that President Trump has tweeted about it, which basically confirms it in my mind, there is no doubt that Hillary Clinton is responsible for the deaths and the imprisonment of those agents. She needs to be put in prison, at least charged. For crying out loud, give us some sense of justice. Give us some sense that the federal government recognizes law breaking when they see it. They said that Hillary Clinton didn't mean to break the law by setting up her bathtub server. Well, the Espionage Act doesn't require intent in order for a crime to be committed. She signed a statement when she first became Secretary of State that she would safeguard those materials under penalty of law, and she did not do it. She needs to be held accountable. 25 members of the Department of Justice and the FBI need to be held accountable. These people need to go to prison. It's the only way that the FBI is ever going to regain any type of credibility. The Department of Justice, too. The highest law enforcement officials in our land have been involved in a soft coup trying to keep Donald Trump from being elected in the first place and then destroy his presidency after he was elected president of these United States. That is a seditious conspiracy, and it's treason, and people need to hang. That's what we used to do with traitors. Actually, I think the Rosenbergs, Julius Nethel, got the electric chair. But I'm good with that. I'm good with hanging. I'm good with the firing squad. Whatever. They just need to get it done. And get it done quickly. They're trying to interfere in our midterm elections so that they can get a majority, a Democratic majority in Congress, and hobble President Trump's last 2 years into his first term. I'm hoping for a red tsunami instead of a blue wave. Everybody that hears my voice right now, I want you to make sure that you do every single possible thing that you can to get the truth out to everybody that you know. Send the videos that you find here on the Liberty One Network to all of your friends and family. Post them in every group on Facebook to which you belong. Share them on Google+. Share them on Twitter. Share them in the forums that you frequent on the internet. Because, folks, I'm here to tell you, we are in a war. It's an information war. And as I've said 1,000 times, information is power. We've got the information, but they're stomping on our necks, keeping us from giving it to you. They are committing a crime against you. And you need to fight back however you can. So like, comment, and share our videos, all of them, from all of the Liberty One hosts, and do what you can to spread the word. We need you. We need you desperately. It's the unheard of masses, or unheard from masses, that voted Donald Trump into office in the first place. We need to make our voices heard again. Not only in the midterm elections, but by sending this information out to everybody that we possibly can. And if you have the ability, please go to bobpowell.blogspot.com and hit that PayPal button, folks. Google has demonetized nearly all of my shows. I've got zero income. I'm having a garage sale this Saturday to kind of support my efforts. If anybody wants to come by and buy some of my crap, you can make it some of your crap. But I really don't have any fear, because I believe that Jesus Christ has got my back, and he will make everything new again. Yes, he will, and he will protect us, and he will guide those that have the ability to donate whatever won't put them out. Now remember, if you are on Social Security, disability, or another type of fixed income, I do not want your money. I don't. Our Father in heaven will move those that have the ability to donate what they can. But what you can do, what every single one of you can do, is to like, comment, and share the videos. Doesn't take anything but a few seconds of your time. Let's get it done, Patriots. Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral. I'll be back with you on Friday night, this Red Friday. Don't forget to wear a red shirt to remember everybody deployed. And as always, God bless. Semper Fi. And hoorah. Have a great night.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter @The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.